Gabriel! Gabriel, wake up!
Ow, my head.
It's about time. I've been trying to wake you for hours. There's no time to lose.
I had another dream.
It wasn't a dream, believe me. Now come on, get dressed.
Wait a minute. I'm starting to remember. Something about Malia.
She's the head priestess of the voodoo cartel. They're responsible for the murders. They've been doing it for years.
Malia? Last night she was the leopard. Like in my dreams, Grace.
I know. Those dreams were a warning. Now come on, get dressed.
But last night, Malia changed. She became something else. And then I blacked out, I think. How did I get home?
I followed you last night. I had my doubts about the Gettys. Did you know that they arrived in New Orleans in 1800? Just in time for the voodoo influx. I knew you were going to try to sneak into a ceremony last night, so I followed you. Lucky for you that I did. If you'd been left at the circle last night, I don't know what she would have done to you.
You're wrong. Malia wouldn't hurt me.
What about Tetelo?
Tetelo? They were chanting that last night. That's the name from Gunter's journal. The woman who took the talisman.
Yes. Gabriel, it's your destiny you're facing. You can't just blunder your way through this or you'll end up dead. Tetelo will be after you now. You have to call your great-uncle in Germany.
Uncle Wolfgang?
Yes. He knows more about this than we do.
Okay, I'll call him. But Malia isn't responsible for those things, Grace. It's that spirit, that Loa. It's Tetelo.
Yeah. Possession is convenient that way. Call Wolfgang, Gabriel. I'll be in the shop.
Guten Tag, Sie haben Schloss Ritter erreicht?
This is Gabriel Knight. Can I speak to Wolfgang, please?
Ja, Herr Knight. Einen Moment, bitte.
Gabriel, it's so good to hear your voice. I had such a dream last night.
There's a good reason for that, Uncle Wolfgang. We need to talk.
Gabriel fills in Wolfgang on the events of the previous evening.
Ah, it is even worse than I thought.
You bet it is. We have to talk about what I'm supposed to do. Tell me about Tetelo.
Well, from your description of the ritual last night, I'd say that Gunther's mistress, Tetelo, is now the primary Loa for the Gedde tribe. It seems she still controls them by possessing her female descendants and speaking through them. Do you remember in Gunther's journal he said that Tetelo was possessed by her father's Loa during the killings in Charleston?
This sounds similar, but Tetelo has obviously become a much more powerful...
Tell me more about Tetelo.
I believe she truly loved Gunther. After all, she was raised to be her father's daughter. Their religion was not a choice she made, but a duty she endured. How can she be blamed for that? The spirit she has become, that is a different matter. It is utterly evil. I am certain that the lower Tetela bears little resemblance to the woman Tetela was before the burning in Charleston.
Tell me more about Tetelo.
She once was a beautiful and intelligent woman, and she probably did not deserve Gunther's betrayal. But the Tetelo we fight now is more akin to her tribe's dark gods than to anything human in nature.
Tell me more about Tetelo.
She once was a beautiful and intelligent woman, and she probably...
Let's talk about the talisman.
I myself have only seen it in old sketches and paintings, and in my dreams. It was in the family for centuries before Tetelo took it. It is believed to be as old as the role of Schattenjäger itself. The talisman has genuine power. I don't know how or why, but it is so. The Schattenjägers swore to use the power for good, never for evil. For defense, not offense. Since it fell into Tetlo's hands, I'm afraid to think what the power has been used for, or what it will be used for in the future. With the talisman, Tetlo has all the power and we none. The only possible way to fight her is to regain the talisman. Then we will at least be on more equal footing.
How can we regain the talisman?
We've been searching for the talisman for years, ever since we lost it. It's a terrible thing to know that something powerful that was entrusted to us is in the wrong hands. The talisman is probably buried with Tetlo's remains. That's what gives her lore so much power.
Is there...
The most important thing about the talisman is that it be once again in the hands of the Schattenjägers.
How would we find Tetelo's remains?
Ha! We have pondered that question a long time, the Ritters. There are two probabilities. The first is that her remains are with the tribe at their current location. The other is that the remains were returned to a sacred place near the tribe's original homeland. We've tried to locate Tetlo's African homeland, but Gunther says so little in his journal about her tribe, and slaving records are practically non-existent. Also, Tetlo's tribe was utterly destroyed in its African form in the late 17th century. There was nothing like a census in Africa then. As for the other idea, we had no clue as to where Tetlo's people went after fleeing Charleston, until now.
We must locate the tribe's original African homeland. Her remains might be there, or they might be in New Orleans, buried among her descendants.
Let's discuss the possible African homeland.
All right. Have you learned anything that might help us locate it?
I spoke with the Professor Hartridge, unfortunately for him. He thinks the tribe's name was Agri, and that they lived near the Fon tribe in what is now called the People's Republic of Benin.
That is incredible, Gabriel. I must go research this new information in my library right now.
Wait, what should I do?
Stay low. If you get a chance, you might look into the possibility that Tetlo's remains are somewhere in New Orleans. But don't try to broach their private areas without my assistance, Gabriel. You will make a fine Schattenjäger, but only if you are not dead.
Sure, I'll wait.
Bye then, Gabriel, and remember, if you need a place of safety, come to Schloss Ritter.
Goodbye, Uncle Wolfgang.
There's no one in that part of the shop to talk to.
Got a minute, Grace?
What's up?
What do you know about...
I know you shouldn't be messing with it, and I know you will anyway.
Do you have messages for me?
Nope. None right now.
Could you do some research for me?
Sure. What?
I can't think of anything.
Okay.
Times-Picayune, dated June 24th, 1993. There's nothing about the voodoo murders case in the papers today. Gabriel finds a humorous tidbit under the Life is Stranger Than Fiction column. Apparently, there were reports of ghosts in the Bayou Saint Jean last night. Various people called the newspaper with stories about hearing strange noises and seeing weird lights over the swamp. Some folks claim it's the ghost of Marie Laveau. The paper relates it to similar delusions that crop up every Halloween. Gabriel's horoscope today reads, "Wise is the warrior who knows when to fight and when to get the hell out of Dodge."
God help me, I'm actually starting to listen to this guy.
The welcome mat is
I'm going out for a bit.
Be careful.
that doesn't seem. Gabriel listens carefully to the drums and opens his radar book to translate. Gabriel's coded messages on the wall. The plate is up. Beneath the plate is a button. Gabriel hears the faint sound of breaking glass.
Dang, you'd think there'd be a light.
There's broken glass on the floor. Gabriel doesn't need any broken glass. Crypt drawers line the back wall. Gabriel can't make out the name on that drawer's plaque. That drawer is marked with a pattern like the VV.
Mosley! Shit, I dropped my flashlight.
Huh?
Ouch, my head. What the hell was that?
There's a wallet in the drawer. It must have fallen from Mosley's jacket when the body was moved. There's nothing Gabriel would care to touch in that part of the drawer. Gabriel opens the wallet and finds some ID belonging to Mosley and an American's repressed card. There's nothing written on the wallet. The card has Mosley's name written on it. It expires next month. Mosley's wallet has obviously been in his back pocket for a long time. It's shaped just like him. The other items in Mosley's wallet don't interest Gabriel. Crip draws. Gabriel can make Crip. Gabriel.
Excuse me, Officer Frick?
Whatever it is, no. Now get out of here before I have you arrested for disturbing the peace.
Posted on the door of the museum. The Dixieland drugstore is locked and barred tight. A sign on the front door of Magentia's home reads, attending a channeling seminar until August 1st.
Miss Getty is unavailable, Mr. Knight.
Where have you been? I was worried about you.
For good reason, apparently.
What happened? Do you need a doctor?
Nothing you want to know about, and no, just some aspirin.
Gabriel, this is nuts. You have to get out of New Orleans.
No kidding.
Well, listen. Wolfgang called while you were out. He said, and I quote, "Tell Gabriel that I found what I was looking for. It's time for me to do my duty. Schloss Ritter is his now." Now, call me crazy, but I don't think that's good news.
Not for Uncle Wolfie, no.
What are you going to do?
If I figure it out, I'll let you know.
Somewhere there's a New Orleans phone book missing one of its C pages.
I can't dial myself. I can't I'm doing the best I can. I'm doing the best I can.
There's nothing there to operate.
Hello. See the World Travel Agency. How may I help you?
How much for a trip to Rittersburg, Germany?
Rittersburg, Germany? Hold on, let me look that up. I can fly you into Munich. That's the closest airport to Rittersburg. You can rent a car from there, or take the train. Let's see. The best price I can see for the flight is $1,400. What would you like to do?
Charge it to my Americans repressed.
Yes, sir. And your name was?
Mosley.
Feeling a little guilty, Gabriel gives the travel agent Mosley's card number and is informed that he can pick up his ticket at the New Orleans International Airport.
Guess what? I'm going to Germany.
Really? That's great, but how on earth could you afford?
A man's got to do what a man's got to do.
Oh my God. I wouldn't like the sound of that even if you were a man.
I'll miss you too, Grace. Goodbye, Gracie.
Good luck. Let me know what's going on, will you?
Of course.
Gabriel picks up his tickets at the airport and boards a plane for Munich.
Wolfgang?
Hello. My name is Knight. Gabriel Knight.
Herr Knight. Oh, kommen Sie bitte, Herren. I mean, come in, please, Herr Knight. I was not expecting you. Has Wolfgang sent you here?
Uncle Wolfgang? No, I came to see him. Isn't he here?
No, he is gone. I'm sorry. You came all this way.
Oh, great. That's all I need.
Herr Knight, Wolfgang told me all about you and gave me instructions for you to feel welcome here. Please, this is your home. You are a Ritter, no? I am just doing some work. I will continue and you may make yourself comfortable. If there is anything you need, please ask me. You may use Wolfgang's bedroom. It is at the top of the stairs.
Thank you, Miss,
You may call me Gerda, Herr Knight.
The main entry doors are massive. They look strong enough to withstand anything. The great hall of Schloss Ritter towers around Gabriel. He can imagine the heating bills. It's a shake of salt. The great hall of Schloss Ritter towers around Gabriel. He can imagine the heating bills. High up in the wall is a small window. At the moment, Gabriel can't think of a need for the salt. A few tapestries hang on the wall. Gabriel isn't sure if they mean something. or if they're just good insulation. There's a dragon's head on the wall. It looks like a real dragon's head, too.
This shadow hunter stuff is serious.
It's a lion's head carved in stone. A few tapestries hang on the wall. Gabriel isn't sure if they mean something, or if they're just good insulation. Gerda is young and quite attractive. Potatoes. They must grow well around here. Potatoes.
Can I ask you a few questions?
Yeah, of course.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
Wolfgang is the only one who would know about that.
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
What murders?
In New Orleans.
Oh, I have not heard of them. I am sorry.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
I have never left Germany, Herr Knight. Perhaps someday you will tell me about it.
Do you know anything about snakes?
We do have snakes here in Germany, but I do not know much about them.
What can you tell me about St. John's Eve?
I have never heard of such a day.
Do you have any idea what Cabri sans Coeur means?
That is not in a language I understand. So sorry.
Do you know anything about Marie Laveau?
That is something Wolfgang would know about, Herr Knight.
Do you know anything about Marie Laveau?
That is something Wolfgang would know.
Do you know anything about a secret voodoo hound four?
That is something Wolfgang would know about, Herr Knight.
Do you know anything about animal masks?
That is something Wolfgang would know about, Herr Knight.
Do you know anything about veves?
That is something Wolfgang would know about, Herr Knight.
Have you ever heard of Damballa?
That is something Wolfgang would know about, Herr Knight.
Does the name Ogun Badagri mean anything to you?
That is something Wolfgang would know about, Herr Knight.
Do you know anything about black voodoo?
That is something Wolfgang would know about, Herr Knight.
Tell me what you know about Schattenjägers.
As Wolfgang may have told you, Schattenjäger means shadow hunter. The Ritter family have always been Schattenjägers. It is a kind of priesthood, though not as restrictive as most.
Tell me what you know about Schattenjägers.
Each Schattenjäger passes on his knowledge to a younger man in the Ritter line when the time is right.
Tell me what you know about Schattenjägers.
I am sure Wolfgang meant for you to take his place someday as Schattenjäger.
Tell me what you know about Schattenjägers.
I am sure Wolfgang meant for you to take his place someday as Schattenjäger.
Do you know anything about Rada drums?
Is that some sort of music? I do not know much about music, but I like the Beatles.
Tell me about Wolfgang.
What would you like to know?
Where do you think Wolfgang went?
I don't know, but I have a feeling he has gone off to go be Schattenjäger again. He is too old for such chasing around. His heart is very weak. He has not left this castle for 5 years, and now this.
Do you know when he'll be back?
I only pray he will be back. Before he left, he said Schloss Ritter now belongs to Gabriel. It worried me so to hear him say that. I'm afraid Wolfgang knew he would never return.
What is Wolfgang like?
Wolfgang is a truly wise and good man, the best I have ever known, but his life has been so full of disappointments.
What kind of disappointments?
His only son died in infancy, so there was no one to carry on the family line, and the family's financial troubles have been hard on him. Wolfgang wanted to do so much for the world, but it was all he could do just to hold on to Schloss Ritter. He has not left his mark as he wished to.
What is your relationship with Wolfgang?
Herr Knight, my relationship with your uncle is really none of your business.
You're right, Gerda. I apologize. Forget I asked. Can you show me Wolfgang's library?
How do you know about his library?
When we talked on the phone, he said he was going to do some research in his library. I thought maybe if I saw what he was researching.
Ah, yeah, a good idea, Herr Knight, but I'm afraid I cannot show you the library. You see, I have never been in it. Only a Schattenjäger can enter the library.
I see. Just tell me anything.
Wolfgang has dedicated his entire life to the role of Schattenjäger.
Just tell me anything.
He has not had a very happy life, but I have done my best to provide him with a little comfort.
Just tell me anything.
He thought he was the last of the Ritter line until he found out about you.
Just tell me anything.
He knows the history of the Ritter family for many centuries past.
Just tell me anything.
He's a good man, a strong man. I am fond of him.
Just tell me anything.
Wolfgang has dedicated...
Oh, nothing, never mind.
As you like, Herr Knight.
Tell me something about the Ritter family.
I can tell you what they say in the village, what I heard when I was small. To the villagers, the Ritters are a little, how do you say, tragic, to be pitied. They say that the Ritters were chosen by God to fight evil, but something happened. One of them was cursed, and so the Ritters lost the way. They struggle still, but like a lame dog, you see? Without the power or magic they once had.
Tell me something about the Ritter family.
There are legends of how powerful the family once was, of some of their mighty deeds, of the richness of the castle, and in turn Rittersburg itself. But at the end of the 17th century that all changed. Since then, the Ritters and Rittersburg have been in decline.
Tell me something about the Ritter family.
It is a troubled family, Herr Knight. That much I know.
Tell me something about the Ritter family.
It is a troubled family, Herr Knight.
Tell me something about Schloss Ritter.
Schloss Ritter has stood for many centuries, no one knows how long. It was once the pride of Bavaria, but now it is in disrepair. Wolfgang received offers to open the castle for tourists. He has resisted, though, even though the castle is in desperate need of repairs. To him, this ground is sacred.
Tell me something about Schloss Ritter.
The castle has many, many rooms and passages, Herr Knight. Most have been closed off and are decaying in the dark and damp. Only a few rooms have been kept up due to the cost.
Didn't Wolfgang mention a library?
There is a library, but I've never been in it. There are places in the castle where only the master is allowed to go.
Tell me something about Schloss Ritter.
Schloss Ritter is the center from which the Schattenjägers have always gone out to battle the forces of evil.
Tell me something about Schloss Ritter.
Schloss Ritter is the center from which the Schattenjägers have always gone out to battle the forces of evil.
Tell me something about yourself.
I was born in Rittersburg, the village below the castle.
Tell me something about yourself.
I'm not well traveled, but Wolfgang has been kind and has tutored me in many subjects. It was from him I learned to speak English. He must have sensed you were coming here at night and that you would have need of me.
Tell me something about yourself.
I'm very devoted to my position here with Wolfgang.
Tell me something about yourself.
I love Rittersberg. No place on earth could be as beautiful.
Tell me something about yourself.
I was born in Rittersberg.
Three panels hang from each side of the chapel. Gabriel cannot determine what their purpose might be. There are pews on both sides of the center aisles. A magnificent stained glass window depicts the legendary battle between St. George and the dragon. Candelabrum flank the altar. A plain wooden altar occupies the center of the chapel. A cushioned kneeler at the bottom indicates that the altar is a place of prayer. Three panels hang from each side of the chapel. Gabriel cannot determine what their purpose might be. Gabriel does not want the candles. The altar isn't going anywhere. A Gothic-style window looks out over an incredible view. Wolfgang's bedroom would hold Gabriel's entire studio 4 times over. Not exactly cozy, but Gabriel could get used to it. Either Wolfgang left very recently, or Gertie feels quite at home in this room herself. It's the biggest bed Gabriel has ever seen. It's an old-fashioned canopy with heavy bed curtains. At the foot of the bed is the cabinet holds a few items for personal grooming. A large display case hangs on the wall. It contains a scroll. It's a chamber pot.
Take me back to the 20th century, please.
There's a small pair of grooming scissors on the cabinet. Gabriel takes the scissors.
This scroll looks interesting.
There's nothing, Gabriel. There's nothing on the table at the moment. That would be a bit tricky. The hair clipping scissors are spot. It looks like Wolfgang uses his scissors as infrequently as Gabriel uses his own. The chamber pot is old, but clean.
St. George, patron of the light, who hunts the shadows of the night. Upon my blood I call thee now, purify me, for I avow to set my feet upon thy road, thy sword I take up for mine own.
Near the bed is an elaborate wooden door. The head of a lion stares at Gabriel from above the door. Near the bed, it's locked. The rug looks like fur from some large animal, but what kind of animal, Gabriel could not say. It's locked. That would have.
I'm tired, but it's daylight here. I can't sleep when it's light outside.
That doesn't work. The cabinet. That would. Wolfgang's bedroom would hold. A few ancient weapons adorn the hall. That weapon might be a bit much to carry round. That weapon. Gabriel would. There is.
Can I ask you a few questions?
Yeah, of course.
What can you tell me about those wall panels in the chapel?
The hangings? They describe the Schattenjäger initiation ceremony.
Tell me about the Schattenjäger initiation ceremony.
Each young man of the Ritter line must go through the ceremony when he dedicates himself to be a Schattenjäger.
But what does the ceremony do?
I do not know, Herr Knight. The only people present are the old Schattenjäger and the new. But I think it must be similar to a priest's ordination or a wedding, a ceremony of intent and oath.
You.
Is there problem, Herr Knight?
You said wedding. I'm okay now. Is there anything else you can tell me about that initiation ceremony?
I really do not know any more about it, Herr Knight.
According to Gerda, the panels outline the Schottenjäger's initiation ceremony. The first panel shows hands and water. The second panel shows hair and a knife. The third panel shows a chalice on a table with ocean waves in the background. The fourth panel shows a knife and a few drops of blood. The fifth panel shows someone kneeling. The sixth panel shows a scroll.
Is that a shaker of salt?
Ja, salt.
Mind if I take it?
No?
Thanks. Can you tell me about this scroll?
It is the scroll of St. George, patron saint of England, and of the Ritter family.
Do you know anything about this?
It looks like an old photograph of your grandfather Heinz, Wolfgang, and their father.
Gabriel would rather not share the chamber pot with Gerda. Gabriel does.
Do you know anything about this?
Ja, those are Wolfgang's scissors.
This dagger.
It is the knife of a Schottenjäger. You may take it, Herr Knight. Everything in this castle is yours now.
Outside the window, there's a nice thick ledge covered with snow. And it's only slightly off color.
If I took the snow, it would just melt in my pocket.
Those two are putting snow in the chamber pot. Putting snow in the chamber pot would not do much good. That's an interesting thought. But there would be less chance of spilling the salt if Gabriel put the chamber pot down first. Gabriel doesn't want to. Gabriel doesn't want to. Gabriel doesn't want to.
If I took the snow, it would just melt in my pocket.
This is the last page of inventory. The view cannot be moved. The view can... The Great Hall. The Great... An old velvet sofa is one of the few pieces of furniture in the Great Hall. Potatoes. Thinking of the third panel, Gabriel puts the chamber pot on the altar. Thinking of the third panel, Gabriel pours the contents of the salt shaker into the chamber pot. Thinking of the first chapel panel, Gabriel washes his hands in the snow. This
I am not cutting my hair without a mirror.
It makes a reflection and that's... It makes a reflection and that's... Thinking of the second chapel panel, Gabriel cuts his hair.
I hate this. There, that's plenty.
Thinking of the fourth panel, Gabriel holds his arm over the chamber pot and nicks it with the dagger.
Oops, nearly hit an artery.
Thinking of the fifth panel, Gabriel kneels at the altar. Thinking of the sixth panel, Gabriel reads the scroll.
St. George, patron of the light, who hunts the shadows of the night, upon my blood I call thee now, purify me, for I avow to set my feet upon thy road, thy sword I take up for mine own.
It worked! Something's happening!
Oh, excuse me. I was just vacuuming. I did not know you were in here.
Oh, that's all right. I've done about all I can do in here anyway. I give up.
You look tired, Herr Knight. Why don't you go to bed?
Sure, why not?
I will clean everything up. You need not worry.
I can't believe I cut my hair for nothing.
Your soul smells, Gabriel Knight. You seek to be Schattenjäger.
I do.
You must first burn away the past. How much sin do you have to burn? You have used people all your life. Never committed to anything. Turn back now, and I will forget that you asked for this.
No!
There are only two things that redeem you. First, that you have Ritter blood in your veins. Second, that 3 women have loved you purely. You asked to start on the path, so you shall. But you will not be a Schattenjäger until you have earned it.
How?
I cannot show you the path, but I can tell you that you will have to let go of the greater part of yourself, Gabriel Knight.
No problem.
Yes. Now you shall have it.